Welcome to a Tuesday live show. Hopefully you guys can hear and see me, and if you can hear and see me, if you could give me a 1 so that I know that I'm actually transmitting, I would be greatly appreciative of that. YouTube is telling me that my signal is bad like it normally is, so I'm actually recording this separately in case things go south. Hopefully you guys are having a great evening. Tonight's live stream topic is picking yourself up after narcissistic abuse. And this could go for a bunch of different things. This could be at work. This could be with the situation that's normally the topic of this channel, divorces and stuff like that. This is one of those things that it takes an active choice from us, something that we have to do, that's something that we have to basically stand up and say that things are going to change. And I'll get into that in a moment. But before I do that, let me jump into my normal housekeeping for the show. Disclaimer first, I am not a therapist. I am an individual much like you who has been through some traumatic experiences. And as I've been reflecting lately, I've realized that that's not just from the situation of my divorce. There's obviously more into it, more there. And that's what other things will pertain on that. The quick thing I'm just going to say about diagnosis, if you're not a therapist and you don't have a diagnosis, please do not diagnose your ex and start telling people what they are, because it will cause you problems. If you want to get a hold of me during this live stream, you can in the chat. Let me see if this actually works, if I didn't break this again. Hey, it's working. In the comment section on PC and on Mac. I don't think you can do this on iPhone, but you can hit at DSD, it will highlight me. Then you can type in your question, and it will highlight my name. Like you can see, KitKat is already highlighting my name. So thank you, KitKat, for doing that. So you can get my attention, so I know that you're actually talking to me as opposed to talking to other people. Which please talk to everyone else on here, because that's one of the big things on this is the community and the support that we give each other. So please be willing and to do that and all that kind of good stuff. If you want to support the channel and really get my attention, you can do what YouTube calls a super chat, which right here at the bottom here is a little $sign. And you can, I haven't tried the sticker thing yet, but you can do a super chat, type in your message, adjust what you want, how much you want to, the more you spend, the longer it stays up, the different color it becomes. That is another way to get a hold of me and to get my attention. If you are new to this channel and you haven't figured out what I'm doing, consider subscribing, hitting the bell notification so that YouTube lets you know what's going on. Subscribing to a channel really helps YouTube understand or but their back-end analytics to say, hey, people really like this channel. They're clicking that button. They're ringing that bell. That must mean this is things that are something that someone likes. And then they will, in the back end, start sharing it out more. So if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you have not signed up for the DSD newsletter, you can, let me put this back over here. You can do that over at dadssurvivingdivorce.com. When you do that, it'll pop up when you come the first time, you can sign up right there. It'll pop up with a dialogue. If that dialogue does not show up, you can scroll down and you can sign up here. If you want to support the channel and you really want to see more content and keep me going, you can become a patron. And if you hate Patreon, like some people do, you can also make a donation through PayPal, and you actually can set up a reoccurring subscription type thing there as well. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate all the support that I've gotten from you guys over the past and the support I'm getting on the Patreon. So on that, and the other thing is I do coaching. So if you want to need some one-on-one help trying to deal with this, I have opened that up. I don't know why I didn't do that before, because it's been a great experience for me, getting to actually deep dive in people's topics. So, so if that's something you're interested in, you can find out more about that over at the dadzsurvivingdivorce.com website under coaching. All right. So let's see who all we have here tonight. Looks like we have, we got a nice little chunk of people. So, I'll just start. Oh, I see KitKat is really trying to get my attention. Lyle says, do you have to pay for the theme music? Yes, I do. I had to. I have a subscription to a royalty-free site, so all the music that I use, I own the right to use it. So yeah. Now I'm very cautious about that because I do not want to get in trouble on that. So interesting question there. Let's see. I tell you what. On the kit for. I will, Kit Kat, bring your stuff up after we go through the topics, and we will address your issue. So on that, let me just, hey, Narcissistic Abuse Rehab says it works on iPhone too. I did not realize that. They must have added that. So I normally don't watch live streams on my phone too much. It's hard for me to read the comments, so it's either I do it and I don't do that. Anyways, whatever. I digress. So we got a few people in the house. So let me get set up so I can get to the topic. Let me make sure I'm actually recording. Okay, so I am recording. So in the off chance that this whole thing falls apart and my internet decides to screw with my signal, I can at least have a copy of this that I can come back from. Okay, so tonight's topic is picking yourself up post-narcissistic abuse. Now, as I mentioned before I jump into the topics we're going to hit tonight, this can be a combination of work issues. This can be family issues. This can be, obviously, your marriage / divorce, your ex, all of that, all those different things. All of this stuff that we're going to talk about tonight pertains in for all these different situations. And we'll pause throughout the ways so we can kind of, if you guys have questions specifically about the topics that we're hitting, please do that whenever I open that up. Give me a one if you're ready to go, and we will dive into it. So I see you guys are awesome. I see the great, nice comments in there. Thank you very much. All right. So here's the thing. I'm going to break this up into 3 areas, and then I'll summarize in the final part of this. And I'm going to break it up to in the beginning, where it all started. Then in the middle, where we kind of like realize something isn't quite right. And then at the end of this, where you're making a choice for change, making a choice to try to do something different, to take control of your life, to take back your power, to try to get back to the place and the person that you want to be. Oftentimes what actually happens is we're trying to get back to somebody. We don't realize we're trying to get back to who we were. We're trying to become a better person. And through the work on this, you realize, holy crap, that's who you were in the first place. And you just lost sight of that. So in the beginning of this whole thing, you are slowly, over time, torn down. This doesn't happen all at once. This is not one of those things where you get into a relationship and bam, they turn into Satan day one. It's very gradual. It's very slow. It's a process that you don't really see coming. Now, oftentimes, I wonder if I could pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I can get this elusive image that I want. Oh, there it was. I was right there. And here, let me. Gosh darn it! It's not pulling up. Dang it. Anyways, what I was going to say is it's like the frog in the water. That's what we are. We are somebody who slowly gets in. It's like, oh man, what a nice little pool. Hey, it's warming up. Isn't this great? This is awesome. And you don't realize that it's starting to get really hot. It happens slowly over time. In the process of this, you feel like everything is your fault. You feel like, well, because they're making you feel like that you can't do anything right. Mr. Man says the death of 1,000 cuts. That is absolutely true. Stover, oh, there it is. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And if you, I think you can't type anything under, if it's under $2. I don't think you can put a comment. If it's over $2, you can actually write something in there. Let's see, TMCM Sale 1. That's a mouthful. Says, DSD started to get back to where I was pre-marriage 5 years post-divorce. Thanks for all your advice over the years. Absolutely. And one thing I want to ask you on that TMCM Sales 1, when this first started, were you trying to become a better person, or were you actually knowing that you were there? See, for me, I didn't know. I thought that I wanted to be a better person, and I wasn't sure if I could get there. I had other people tell me, no, that's... I remember having a conversation with an old high school buddy saying, man, this is the type of person I want to be. This is what I want to do. And he's like, dude, that's who you were in high school. That's why we were friends. That's why I appreciated your philosophy and stuff. Lyle says I was going to change my screen name to Spawn of Satan. That's hilarious. Anyways, God, you threw me off there. My next thing on this is that you start to believe all the negative things about you. I mean, so if you're at work, if it's a work situation and they're just saying, you just can't cut it, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you start going, maybe they're right. Maybe it's right. Maybe my value is not that great. And they absolutely do that during a relationship where they just start to slowly, you're too sensitive, you blow things out of proportion, you this and you that. I think I remember one that the way my ex used to always do it was, you never, and you always, and you never. And it's like, what? How can I always and never be doing the same thing? Especially whenever a few weeks before it was, oh my God, Josh Penn, Josh, dude, I've been trying to get a hold of you for months. I would love to have you on the podcast. Thank you very much for the congratulations on the 20 subs. I don't know how to get a hold of you, dude. If I would love to have a conversation with you. Please reach out to me. Send me an email, Duane@dadssurvivingdivorce.com, or on Facebook or something. But I have been trying all kinds of ways to get a hold of you. I thank you for showing up tonight. So not to call you out, not to draw a bunch of attention, but and I've been worried about you, man. So I'm glad. I figured things were going well, but okay, cool. Awesome. Hey, maybe we can actually have a podcast soon with a special guest, Josh Penn. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he still has a YouTube channel. He just doesn't post many videos on it anymore. So he was building pretty good. So thank you very much, Josh, on that. So for the congratulations. Man, you guys are like, I'm getting like my getting thrown off tonight. And the last thing I wanted to say on this, in the beginning, is you start to believe you deserve it. You believe that all of this muck and nastiness is destined in your life, that you don't deserve more, that this is exactly what's going on. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be like sitting there, actually saying it, but subconsciously you feel that. Subconsciously you feel like, I don't really deserve more anyways. So that's, I'm not a great person, whatever. I'm this bad person that's been pushed into your head. And you start to believe it. I mean, I did. I believe that, I was so lucky to have such a wonderful person that, even if there were some issues, I'm still so lucky because I didn't deserve better. We all deserve better. So, anyways, let me see where we are with the conversation. Do you guys on track with that? Give me a 1 if you do. If you have a question about this or something you want to say, please tag me right now. MFA says, Duane, I was saddled with being unpredictable and boring. Wow. It's like no matter what you do, you can't win. Which goes, that video I posted, was that yesterday? Was that today? Not input. No, okay, I posted a video yesterday. I'm thinking, holy crap, did I post a video today? The video from yesterday, that was kind of one of the conversations on that is getting, no matter what you do, it's not enough. You could be the most unboring and unpredictable, being unpredictable and being whatever, and it's not enough. It'll never be enough. With a toxic person, it will never be enough. To be perfectly honest, the more you try to accommodate, the more they're going to ramp up, the worse it's going to get. It's very frustrating. TMCM Sales says, Duane, my name is Tim. Screen name started in the 813 days. I miss the old me, and my friends did too. Using the Used to hearing the gaslighting being extreme words, always and never. Man, dude, it always and never. Always, isn't that amazing? Hey, okay, I got a question. How many people dealt with the always and never? You know, you always do this and you never do that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I remember that used to happen a lot. Lyle says they will create a monster version of you. That is so very true. And no matter what you do, you cannot win. Bears Cat says always. Josh says always dealt with always. Yes. Fat Fenders says yes, always, never. Man, guys, isn't it? It's amazing how our stories are so darn similar. Doesn't matter, man to woman, it is so freaking similar. These people will follow a playbook, and we follow a playbook on how we typically deal with this abuse. Andrew says, yep, serious dislike for those statements. Let me ask you guys this. How many people are still triggered by certain words? I've gotten to the point now that the only thing I've been able to not, for me the answer is no, with the exception of, hey. I cannot, if you guys remember are on the mailing list, I will never, I think, ever say, hey guys, or whatever. It's hello or hi. My ex continues to always say, hey Duane, hey, and then you can tell how angry she is on whether the letters are capitalized. She's really in a bad mood if the D in Duane is lowercase, but if she's feeling good, that sucker is uppercase. Oh, hey, Rainy Nickel, welcome to the channel. Says, I'm triggered by you're such a disappointment. Ugh, ouch. Yeah. It's amazing how triggers really, how it can just, man, set you off. Old Johnny Rose says, I absolutely hate absolutes because of the twisting. Yep, absolutely. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. That wasn't intentional. Committed to the Shift says, mine was you're never satisfied and you always think everything is about you. This was absolutely projection and crazy. Yeah, but when we're in the midst of it, we don't realize it. We do not realize it. Okay, so I am going to move to the next slide. Aisha, Live 13, says, he called me weak. I'll show how strong I am. Guys, okay, I love that comment. The amazing part is that we have the choice to take our power back. It's like we give this to them. And I know it sounds simple, and if you're living it, it is not. It is absolutely not easy. It is really, 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 really tough to realize that reality and to make that change. Oh, CM Snail says, or Sale, I see him saying snails, sorry. How dare you think of me that way? I hated that one, or I hate that one. Okay, so I am going to get into the middle part of this. And that's where I in my mind, and this middle part, this could be a long time. This could be, 15 years, like in my situation, maybe a little bit longer. It's where you realize something's just not right. Something just isn't right. You're looking at it and you're like, man, I'm in this relationship. It's a great relationship. You're saying externally, but your gut is telling you something's not right. And you feel like you're kind of going crazy. You feel like that it just doesn't make sense. It's part of that cognitive dissonance, which I always have a hard time saying, where your belief is not matching up with the reality. And you're in this mode, you're like, man, it can't be this way. It just can't be right. There's, you're feeling that something's wrong. You're feeling that it just isn't, it doesn't make sense. And then you start thinking, man, this all can't be my fault. I kind of feel like it's something my fault all the time, but can it really be? Or maybe someone said something to you. It's like, man, is it, why is it everything like that all the time, And bottom line is you start to think, in the back of your mind, you're like, these negative things can't all be true. I can't be, a disappointment. I can't be always or never doing something. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And then in this mode, you either crash and burn, which I came really close to, by the way. You start to think, maybe, just maybe, I deserve a chance at something maybe just a little bit better. And that's when things start to really fall apart. It's all of these phases are really tough, and it's really not until you get to the other side of this that you really start to see, the clouds open up. You crest the mountain, you look down, and you see the sun and the clouds and the beauty and the greenery and all that stuff. Or maybe it's the ocean. You kind of like whenever you drive over towards Malibu and you drive through the mountain and you crest over it. You got, what's the name of that college? It's on the right, Pepperdine University. And all you see is the Pacific Ocean and green and trees, and it's amazing. I used to do that when I was really stressed. I'd drive over there. But you start to feel like you deserve a chance at something better. So how many people, give me a 1 if you're on track with me, if maybe you can relate. And if you have a comment about this particular part, please tag me and I will check. Oh, I see Pepe has his hand up. So Pepe, if you have a question, let me know. Lyle says, Duane, dealing with a narc is like laying down a royal flush and then they point a gun at you and say, I win. God. I love your visuals tonight, Lyle. You're like on fire tonight. I hope you're doing well, buddy. I haven't chatted with you in a while. I'll have to try to I won't be able to give you a call tomorrow because I got to take my daughter to some appointments. So in the next couple of days, I will track you down. All right. So I see a bunch of 1s. And I see Chad giving me the 8675309. Thank you very much, Chad. Actually, I'll go ahead and show that because that's funny. We do have a moderator in the house. So thank you, James, for hanging out with us tonight. I didn't see you pop in earlier. Sorry about that. Okay. So this is going to roll into the next part. Does anyone? Okay. So, all right. Lyle says, great. Yeah, I was going to say I'll call you in the morning, but I literally what's happening tonight, for you guys to know, since my ex now works and can't do anything, I'm the one who has to take all the kids to all the appointments now, which is pretty funny. So I have to, my daughter needs a TB test before she can move into the dormitory in the next couple of weeks. So I have to do that tomorrow. So she's coming over tonight so we can just peel out of here and go in the morning. So, Pepe says, I was waving. Ah, there you go. Okay, I thought maybe you were trying to like raise your hand. Wait, that makes more sense. Okay, so now we're going to get into pretty much the last part of this, even though I do have one more thing after this, is that's where you start to make the choice. And God, this is so freaking hard. And I want to know how tough this was for everyone else, because I know when I started to pick myself, it was so freaking scary. Now I get for the folks out here that were discarded, that's going to be a little bit different. I mean, my situation's a little bit different because I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't live like this. I can't do this. So, but I still think that even if you're in the discard phase of this still pertains, because at some point you have to say, okay, I have to pick myself. I have to start making myself and my well-being and my sanity as a priority. Because if you don't, you just spiral out of control. And I was on my way of spiraling out of control. TMCM says, Duane, it's always good to get a point of non-reaction to the manipulators. Yeah, that's very true. I'm just looking at some of the comments. Again, I'll only check the ones that you guys are tagging me. So if you want to tag me, please just do @DSD. I guess I don't know if maybe you can't do that if you're on a phone. So I might have to think about that one. Dear Prudence says, Duane, how do you forgive yourself when you give into what they want? You took the bait and reacted instead of responding. You realize it was wrong after the fact. You know what? You learn from the mistake. Dear Prudence, whenever you do that, and I'm saying that because I did that multiple times myself. You have to accept the fact that you made a mistake, and that let me go it this way: that you did something that you wish you wouldn't have done. And what I often say is measure: did it have an effect? You know, when you lashed out, did it do anything good? More than likely, the answer is either nothing happened or it made things worse. And you say, okay, going forward, I'm going to work hard not to do it. Now, here's the key point I want to make on this. Please, please, please do not find yourself trapped in the mode that, well, I made this mistake, I'm doing these actions, so I just have to keep doing it. No, you like talking about this. We have the opportunity to make a choice. Let me see my point. Make the choice. And we can start make the active steps to change things, right? That's kind of what we're talking about right there, is you can say, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to change. I am going to do something different. You have the ability to do that. It's not easy. Now, getting back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this, for me to get to the point to say, I have to make a change and, push to really try to make the relationship either get better or blow apart at the seams. Oh my God, that was the most stressful, scariest thing I ever did in my life. It was tearing me apart. But when I finally, here's the crazy part. When I finally did it, I felt like $1 million. When I finally was like, okay, you know what? This isn't working. I'm done. Everything you're telling me with your nonverbals and the verbals is that this relationship is not important. Okay, I'm tapping the mat. We're taking a break. I felt pretty good. And then all hell broke loose, and I felt like I got carpet bombed. But, the Lazy Taco says, I'm using Android, so you can tag people on the Android platform. That's good. Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Lazy Taco. I appreciate it. Lazy Taco also says, I've been working on picking myself up since being discarded and the move. I'm on day shift now at work and busting it out to work hard. However, my daughter hits me with tough comments and questions. Yeah, that's going to be tough, and you got to be really careful how you answer that. And oftentimes kids will actually do that. That'll be a good topic for a whole nother video or a whole nother live stream. Says, Duane, does your ex always switch back and forth between extreme terse and extreme verbose emails? When we used to go back and forth, yes, absolutely. That used to happen a lot. Now that I exercise hybrid no contact and minimize most communication, she has found other ways to occupy her time, and I'm not on that anymore. So that's good. Okay, so I lost my place there for a minute. Kind of like I'm already talking about most of this stuff that's on this slide, but when I say things that you can, it's like things that you can do. You have to start taking active steps and doing things to make your life better. And excuse me. The other thing is here's the thing. No one else is going to do this for you. Nobody is going to come and hold your hand and walk you through the fire. Probably the closest you're going to get on that is somebody like me who's trying to help you get through it. But at the end of the day, you have to do the work yourself. You absolutely have to do it. But when you start getting in this mode, you actually start, your mind pivots from everything else we were talking about, and you actually start to believe that you really do deserve better. You deserve the chance. I mean, that's kind of where I got to the point where I had the strength after 21 years to finally say, look, I deserve the chance. I deserve the chance to roll the dice to see if this is going to get, if I can have something better. And that was tough. Oh my God, that was a scary, scary, scary thing to do. Chad says, hybrid no contact saved my life and sanity. Well, I'm glad it did. I'm glad to hear that, Chad. Rainey Nichols says, Duane, I feel like I was doing great since leaving the narc, but now I just got diagnosed with MS and feel more lost than ever. Well, I'm sorry about that diagnosis. And I can understand how that any type of catastrophic news can really start sending you back down the spiral. Just try to take everything slow. And, here's the one way that I would say to look at it. Imagine if you would have gotten that diagnosis while you were with this person. 90% of the time, or majority of the time, a couple of things happen and they're all bad. They either leave you, they're like, I'm out. You know what? This is too much for me. I'm out. Have a nice life. See you. When they don't even say they have a nice life. They're just like, I'm out. I can't deal with this anymore. Or they make you feel like total crap because your situation is interfering with their life. And I don't know if that's coming on deaf ears, but that's something to think about. But I'm really sorry to hear about the diagnosis. Hopefully you have a way forward to regain as much of your life as possible. Narc Abuse Rehab says, Duane, I invested in a psychiatrist specializing in trauma. It was life savings. I managed to work right through the narc's attack and smear, which started the week my father died. Yeah, and you know what? And narc abuse rehab, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? I mean, they will attack, a narcissistic personality type will attack at our lowest because they feel it's like an easy victory for them. But a trauma therapist, I think, is phenomenal in these things because typically they really get all this. Chad says, and blast them out the airlock. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see here. All right, now I'm switched on this. Let me switch back over and get to the last thing on this, and that is my final thoughts. My final thoughts on this process of picking yourself up. This entire process takes a significant amount of time. I know I say that often. I know that's a reoccurring mantra that you hear on my videos. But I think it's very, 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 very important to say because I know for me, I didn't realize that when I was going through this, and the idea of a long process to heal from this was overwhelming. I mean, and it was scary, and it felt like it would never get better. The thing on that is, yes, it does get better, but you have to work through it. So it may feel like it's never going to get better, but it is. So, you know, the thing we have to remember is most of the time, it took a long time. It took a while to get to this point. I mean, I was married 21 years, and that wasn't, you know, everything wasn't peachy keen before I got married, and then it was 21 years of that. I was primed for this from childhood. So you add another 20 years or 19 years. I was married at 19. Another 19 years before that. I mean, you're talking 40 plus years for my situation. I mean, to think that you can go from that and instantaneously be healed and be on the other side of that, it's just unrealistic. You know, are there people that could potentially do that? Yeah, sure. I wasn't one of them. And if you are one of them, that's phenomenal. But I mean, this takes time. And this really is a test of your perseverance. It's like the most freaking hardest test ever. But here's the thing. As it being a test that you kind of get to take on your own, at your own pace, you can pass this test. You can get to the other side. You know, this isn't one of those things where, you know, I mean, if you don't do the work, right? I mean, you know, no one's going to hand you anything. You're not going to, I wasn't going to be able to sit over there on my couch, just right on the other side of this screen, you know, rocking back and forth and being upset and crying and emotional. If I did that, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would be still over there feeling miserable, and my life would be tremendously worse. We have to take an active role in getting our lives back. It is critical that we do that. We have to do that. You have to do that. You do that, even if you're not the greatest, you know, even if you're slow at this, even if the techniques take a while, you still can make the progress to get to the other side. My hope is that you will do it much faster than me. My hope is that this channel and the other channels like this on the internet will be enough to kickstart you, get you in the right direction, and start to give you your power and your life back. So that is the topic of tonight. So if you like that, give me a 1. I don't know why I keep doing. I guess I should say 1 instead of a thumbs up. But now let me see where we got. Josh says, absolutely, you can get to the other side. The other side wasn't what I expected. That's a very good point. Accepting the situation, me, as I was a big step to feel even more whole than ever. And that, guys, that's the thing I hope that really keeps people going is time after time after time, people who've made it to the other side, it's like you look at it and it's like, oh my God. I mean, if I would have known what was on the other side of that, like that mountain analogy, if I knew what was on the other side of that before, oh my God, I would have went to it before. I would have been so scared staying in that situation because I felt that I couldn't do better, that I wouldn't be better, that I was, that it was just going to be worse. Emily says, how do I email you? Emily, you can look in the description of the video. I'm pretty sure it's in the live stream, and any other video has it, but it's just Duane at dadssurvivingdivorce.com. So let's see. I'm going to look and see what else. All right, I see a bunch of 1s. TM says, the book Emotional Blackmail was a breakthrough for me. Saw mom and ex in one book. Wow, that's pretty. I did a lot of reading too. I didn't read that one. That's a good recommendation. Okay. Lyle says we need a poke emoji. That's a good point. I wonder if there is one. That's a good point. Hey, Camila, saying that right. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Says that's very true, Duane. Being primed for maltreatment for the majority of your life will take a while to untangle yourself from. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true, and it's one of those things that we absolutely have to remember. James posted my email in the thing. So thank you, James, for doing that. I appreciate it. Actually, I'm surprised it let you do that. Most of the time it blocks it. Maybe it's because you're a moderator. So thank you for doing that. Blue says, Duane, I just thinking today that each year since the discard, I spend differently. First year, I was floored. Second year post-divorce, I was paralyzed. This year, I'm finally coming out of it. That's, you know what, Blue, and that's kind of my process too. Except by year 3, I think I was still, year 2, yeah, about a similar time frame. It took a while. It's a really tough process. Mr. Man says the other side is awesome. Thank you for saying that, Mr. Man. That's true. I think more people need to hear that. More people need to realize that, okay, this may suck. The suck may be high right now, but stick with this, work on it. It hurts. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, this is not easy. Confronting your demons is not easy. Confronting what happened, where you came from, is not easy. Confronting the issues that allowed people to treat you like that is not easy. So, Camilla says, that's to someone else. Never mind. All right. I'm just looking around at the comments. I got a middle finger emoji. Oh, that's funny. All right. Okay, guys, that's the topic for tonight. And I tried to jump into that fast, and we're still at 43 minutes. That's what I'm trying to say. I will now open up the floor for questions. So, Kit Kat, when you had stuff going on, because I seriously doubt I'm going to be able to roll up to it, because it deletes it. It not buffers, but it doesn't hold everything. So, Kit Kat, if you are still here and you have a question, please tag me and let me know. Let me see what else is going on. Okay. Hey, I want to mention one thing. And I was talking to someone else about this the other day. I really appreciate your guys' recommendations on other things, but unless they're people I specifically know, I'm going to be a little more cautious about pulling things up and giving a tacit kind of endorsement, because I don't follow a lot of people. There are a few people who I do, and or who I have a lot of respect for. But I know there's a lot of new channels that are coming up. I know a lot of new channels that are just exploding. So I don't want to give anybody the impression that that if I pull something up that I'm saying, hey, yeah, this person, this guy, this gal, this channel is good and you can trust it. Check it out yourself. Listen to your own gut, but I'm going to be a little more cautious about promoting some things. I know I did mention some books and stuff by reading comments, but I'm going forward. I'm not going to do that. So anyways, whatever. So Double X says, Duane, I am the only one depressed. I can't send funds to the ice cream trust fund. Come on, Double X. You got to support the channel. That's hilarious. Well, there's always the PayPal and the Patreon. I know some people don't like Patreon, but never mind. I can't even say that with a straight face. Oh my God. Rainey says, Duane, advice on when the narc starts telling the kids that mommy will go to jail if they act like they don't want to see him for visitation. See, that's a tough one. Because that Rainey, there's a lot of nuances in that. I would say if you have a court order that says that you get to decide when the kids can see their dad, I'm assuming you said their dad, then he shouldn't be saying that. And to be perfectly honest, he could be in contempt for saying that. However, if there is a court order that has visitation and you are not, if the kids are saying, I don't want to go over there. I have to go hang out with my friend, or I have practice or I have this or that. You actually are putting yourself at risk and you could get in trouble, and people have been thrown in jail for contempt for stuff like that. I know that, if you remember the Caleb Leverett video, whenever one of the ones I highlighted when I did that montage of his stuff, is the judge basically, now granted his son was 14, but the judge basically said, Caleb, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his son's name. I can't remember. Anyways, basically said, if you go back to your dad, he's going to jail. Well, and they did actually send him to jail for contempt. So that one is complicated depending on, like I said, on specifics. So if you want to add some more, we can discuss more of that. Let me see if you said anything else, Rainey. I do not see anything. Kit Kat says, Duane, why am I being approached by his new wife, his mother, and him after I work so hard to keep this no contact? They are all intense again. Actually, Kit Kat, it's why you just said that. Because here's the dirty little secret, or not, it's not a secret, the dirty little reality of no contact. When you go no contact with a narcissistic person, they get their supply from your interaction and your responses. When you go no contact, you are not responding and you are not interacting. And what do they do in that situation? They ramp it up. So what you're dealing with, Kit Kat, unfortunately, is very similar. Now, the good part about it, kind of, is that it's demonstrating that it's working. Now, sometimes, see, in this see, I'm getting all high-toned voice. This is the same thing that happened in my situation. When I went no contact, it was like, hey, she was leaving me alone. But this is what happened, right? So she's playing the silent treatment. Like typically they do that. They play the silent treatment. It's like, I am not going to respond. And remember, the silent treatment is to hurt someone else. No contact is to protect yourself, right? So there's a difference. People can say it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. If you're not answering someone to irritate them and to make them angry and to try to drive them crazy, that's a silent treatment, and that's done with malicious intent. If you're finally saying, holy crap, I have to stay away from these people or this person because they're driving me insane. So I'm going to implement no contact or hybrid no contact or one of those type of techniques. You're doing that for your sanity. You're not doing that to punish the person. If you're doing that to punish the person, then there's other issues. But when my situation, so I did that. And about a month or two into it, the ex realized, hey, wait a minute, he's not chasing me anymore. And she started going, boop, right back in my eye and started like, we need to co-parent. We need to talk. We need to do this. And I remember at one point, that's what I was like, okay, fine. What do you want to talk about? Oh, I'm making dinner. I'm making meatloaf for dinner and working on homework. I'm like, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to converse with you. Anyways, I digress. Bottom line is, Kit Kat, yes, that typically does happen. Stay the course. The next part of that with them attacking you, unfortunately, is they'll start to do stuff towards the kids to try to get you irritated to respond to them about, why did you do X to little Johnny? But unfortunately, that is very common. I'm sure I made videos on that. I don't know if I could find them, though. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to see if Rainey said anything from what my comment was. So I do not see anything from Rainey. So maybe Rainey has departed for the evening. I am not sure. Okay, so let me. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh, no, hold on. Rainey says, Duane, the kid is seeing his dad like ordered. He's just trying to get him to stop being sad about being with him. Unfortunately, Rainey, there's not much you're going to be able to do. See here. Actually, you know what, Rainey? That's exactly a great example of what I was just talking about, right? How you do the no contact and how it rolls into the kids, because you're going to be pulled, just like I would be pulled, to write and say, "Hey, not knucklehead, dear," or as I would say, "Hi, X, comma, could you please stop saying that stuff to the kids because that's scaring them and it's creating more of a problem. It's difficult for them to have this. Don't take the bait." If you really feel like you need to, you could say, "Dear Bill, when Brad came back home, he's saying that you're saying that I'm going to go to jail if he doesn't come over here. Would you please stop saying that because he's already scared and uncomfortable. Just because he's sad doesn't mean he doesn't like you. Could you just knock it off and enjoy your time with him?" Now, that would be kind of the best way to do that. I would prefer you not to say anything. But you don't want to turn around and go, what you're saying is against the court order and I'm going to hold you in violation and blah blah blah. I personally would say, I would talk to your son and say, "Hey, don't worry about it. Your dad's just being, he's being melodramatic. I'm not going to jail. You're going to see, and it's okay that you're going over there, and it's okay if you're sad. This whole thing is stressful. It's stressful on mommy and daddy, and it's absolutely going to be stressful on you. It's okay, just that type of thing, address it that way." But yeah, that right there, Rainey, that's one of those bait things I was exactly talking about, where they, instead of focusing on attacking you, now they're doing this stuff with the kids come back and tell you, and then you feel like, "Hey, knucklehead, you shouldn't be doing that." Oh, God, I fell into that. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. To be honest, when it happened, when I first was like, "Oh, man, this no contact is great." And then it was like, "Oh, crap, I can't do no contact because we have kids." So then I figured out this hybrid no contact thing. I'm like, "Oh, hey, this is working great." I'm not responding to her stuff. I'm not responding to her provocations. And then stuff started happening with the kids. And if I remember correctly, I absolutely, came up and did the clickety-click, clackety-clack, gave her a piece of my mind, which absolutely did not help. Kit Kat says, "A hard week with school, open houses." Oh, I know, that's what you were talking about. You said something about open houses. So let me scroll up and, okay, I'll check the chains here in a minute. Where'd it go? Kit Kat says, "Duane, I can feel the hate coming off him, even though he's the one who lied, cheat, and stole." Yeah, how dare you catch him, Kit Kat? How dare you? So yeah, it's going to continue. All right. So then you had said, I'm trying to find it. Okay. So you said, "Hard week with school, open houses. He keeps presenting us as a family. And this past week, his new wife, 6 months, showed up unannounced to meet me. Ambush. I was gracious, but why?" Well, part of it's going to be, could be, Kit Kat. One could be that the new wife is an empathetic, good person who doesn't believe that you're as much of a monster as, he's saying you are. Could be that she's thinking, because a lot of times what people will think is like, okay, well, the two real parents hate each other. I'm a neutral party. I'm a nice person. That's what his his new wife could be thinking. I'm a nice person, so we can get together, because some people can, right? I mean, I've seen that where, that normal people can do certain things. And that person's not going to understand why you don't want to, what's your problem, right? See, here's the bad part about this is it falls into that smear campaign and that double bind, right? So if you still say standoffish, then it kind of like validates their story. Here's the thing. It doesn't effing matter what's happening at the other house, right? You have no responsibility to do anything that you're not comfortable with doing. If this person, you don't want to be around or don't like, you have every right not to be around them and to not engage with them, right? Are you going to be painted as a bad person? Absolutely. Who cares what other people think? I had to come to that realization and finally decide that it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore what anyone thinks. It only matters that I keep the sanity and the calm in my environment and in my life for the kids. All the other stuff doesn't matter. Now, it's easy for me to say. I mean, if the ex gets married and Bill says, "Hey, Duane, let's have a beer." I don't know what I would do. Actually, I know what I would do. If Bill, called me up and said, "Hey, let's go to the local Mexican restaurant and have a cerveza." I don't drink, but let's just say hypothetically, I think I would say, that's okay. That's all right. I don't need that. So thank God that hasn't happened. Oh, geez. I do not envy people who get put in those situations. So I digress. All right, let me see. There was a question that I saw. Where is it? There it is, Shane. Shane says, Duane, question. What's your best advice for downtime? When I don't have the kids, I tend to isolate or to get into old habits. That is an excellent question, Shane. And I will tell you that in the early part of this for me, my downtime was a nightmare. I would crash and burn. I would isolate. I would sleep. I had no desire to do anything. And I had to, I was basically recharging to basically put on a front for when the kids came back. So Shane, what I would encourage you to do is, a therapist might be good who understands trauma to help you work with it and start doing things to break those old habits. Go out and do something. Like before all this happened, the idea of going out by myself was just, I wouldn't do that. I mean, now I'll go out to dinner by myself. I'll drive into town and get a coffee. I'll go to the bookstore. I'll do, drive to the beach. I mean, whatever the heck it is, find something, Shane, to break those habits, to give you new experiences. If you're not ready for it, I get that. Then the next thing, okay, so if you're not at that point, then what I would say, surround yourself with things that are calming and tranquil. If you can handle listening to spa radio on XM, listen to that. I do that a lot now. I mean, which actually kind of blows my mind. I don't add extra stressful things into my life. I don't watch movies that make you stressed and anxious. Watch things that are funny, and not rom-coms. You don't want to watch something that makes you a freaking mess because it's a romantic comedy about a relationship and it's just triggering you. I went through that myself. If you're really struggling, what I would encourage you to check out on my website under resources, you can see, I always do this and it goes slow. Worst case on all this stuff is really good. These hypnosis downloads worked really well for me. Mend Your Broken Heart, Getting Over Divorce, Letting It Go, Unrequited Love. And then there's an end relationship pack, which I think includes all of these and one other one. So actually that's kind of probably the best deal, but that helped me. And I listened to that over and over and over and over and over again. And I was implementing My absolute thinking. Let me come over here. If you go down to, oh, by the way, I just want to say, I took that picture. That thumbnail I did on that I did it of a model friend of mine who was working on a project. So that was actually photographed right here in this location. I was on a ladder. She was below me, lit, everything. Back when I used to do a lot more photography stuff. So that thumbnail has a special place for me. I digress. My mindset for narcissistic abuse recovery, these first 3 videos, the hybrid no contact, absolute thinking, and black hole thinking are critical. And then the rest of them kind of just reinforce that. These are all older videos, so my technique wasn't as good, but I still think that the message in there is outstanding. You guys have seen comments from people who said that they were helpful. So on that, anybody here, I mean, who thinks that, well, people already said hybrid no contact. So absolute thinking and black hole thinking, give me a 1 if that was helpful for you. So that Shane knows that he should really check that out. Now I hope that people actually do that. That would be a bummer if nobody did that. All right, I see a 1. I see. All right. Thanks, guys. I was getting worried there for a minute. All right. Oh, Rainey says, sorry if I'm missing anyone. Anyone talking to me in chat, I'm not having a good vision day and have to super squint. Oh, I can definitely relate to that. My vision's gotten worse. Thank you so much, guys, for the 1s. I appreciate it. Shane says, I've seen almost all your videos. Dear God, man. That's like 700 plus videos. You probably hear my voice in your mind now if you watch that many. TM says, hybrid no contact was a great winner for me. Winner, chicken dinner. Cindy T says, oh, sorry, I missed your reply. Okay, never mind. That wasn't towards me. Mr. Man says, Duane, you look so relaxed since your older videos. I am more relaxed, Mr. Man. And that's why I think I need to go back through and redo some of these just to change the vibe of it. Vibe of it? Did I say that correctly? All right. Okay. On that, I think we are at the hour mark. I have to finish up some stuff so I can go grab my daughter. I have a video that I am excited about tomorrow. It's called, what the hell did I call it? I'm not even sure what I called it. Anyways, it will release tomorrow. I'm probably going to try to do it at the normal time, although I will be with my daughter, which will make it harder for me to respond to well, I'll probably make it almost impossible for me to respond to comments, but I will try. On that, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me on your Tuesday evening. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do that. Please do that right now. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell notification. If you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a patron or supporting me through PayPal. I would appreciate it since YouTube is now going on a rampage again with demonetization, which is incredibly annoying, but it is what it is. Sign up for the newsletter. Reach out to me if you want to, Duane@dadsurvivingdivorce.com. I know I'm getting behind with emails. I do read everything, and the ones that I really want to respond to, I put in a queue, and I just try to get to them. I'm sure some of you people could probably attest that it's taking me, sometimes it takes me a month to get back. I really do try. Obviously, I can't hit everybody, but I will try. On that, thank you guys. Thanks for your support. Glad you spent your Tuesday with me, and I will chat with you guys on the next live stream and video. Take care.